The rain was relentless that evening, slamming against the glass windows of the city hospital like 1,000 tiny hammers. Thunder rumbled in the distance, and the power flickered just long enough to send a wave of unease through the emergency room. Amid the chaos of a typical night shift, Nurse Emily Carter tied her brown hair back into a messy bun, tucked her phone into her pocket, and stepped out into the corridor. She had just finished administering meds to a patient with a fractured hip and was heading to grab a cup of coffee before her next round. Then she saw him, soaked from head to toe. Standing just beyond the automatic doors was a man in his early 40s, hunched over, clutching his side, his clothes dark and not just by rain, but something else blood. His eyes met hers for a brief second before he collapsed, without hesitation. Emily darted through the rain, ignoring the water seeping into her shoes. Sir, can you hear me?" she called out, kneeling beside him. He mumbled something, but the rain and thunder muffled his words. Someone call a gurney now," she yelled, waving toward the lobby. A security guard and a junior nurse rushed out with a stretcher, and together they lifted the man onto it. Emily didn't let go of his hand the entire time. He was taken to trauma. Internal bleeding, possible cracked ribs, a deep laceration. Across his lower back, he needed stitches, blood transfusion, and observation. But he was lucky to be alive. Hours passed, and the moved on with its usual intensity. The man was stabilized, and no ID had been found on him, no phone, no wallet, nothing. The police had been informed, and Emily stayed behind after her shift to make sure he was okay. When he woke, it was almost dawn. Hey, she said gently, pulling a chair up beside his bed. "You're in Mercy, General. You were brought in during the storm last night. Do you remember what happened?" The man blinked a few times, his eyes bloodshot but intelligent. You helped me, in the rain, Emily smiled. "Yes, that was me." He tried to sit up, wincing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get anyone involved." Involved? She frowned. "You were injured. It's my job to help." He studied her for a moment. Most people would have just walked by. Well, I'm not most people, she said softly. "What's your name?" There was a pause. James, he said. "James Rowe." Okay. "James, do you remember how you got hurt?" Another pause. A shadow flickered behind his tired eyes. "I fell, that's all." It was a lie. Emily knew the signs: hesitation, guarded body language, evasive tone. But she didn't press. Days went by. James remained in the hospital, recovering slowly. He didn't get visitors, he didn't make phone calls. But he began talking to Emily. At first, small things: how he liked his coffee black, how the hospital food reminded him of summer camp. Then more how he used to teach music to kids, how he hadn't played piano in years, how sometimes he wondered if people really changed. Emily found herself looking forward to their conversations. She worked the night shift mostly, and when things quieted down, she'd stop by James's room with tea and questions. He was smart, funny, deeply introspective, and kind. And lonely, terribly lonely. One night, maybe a week after he was admitted, he asked, "Why did you come outside that night?" "It was raining hard." I saw someone who needed help, she said. Even though I looked like a mess. You looked like a human being, she replied. "We all become a mess sometimes." He chuckled softly. "That's one way to put it." Another few days passed, and just when Emily thought James was beginning to open up, he disappeared. She arrived for her shift and found his bed empty. No discharge papers. No one had seen him leave. Gone. It bothered her more than she expected. She checked with admin, security, even checked local shelters on her off days. Nothing. She couldn't explain the weight in her chest, how someone could vanish so completely, without so much as a goodbye. Months passed. Winter turned to spring. Life moved on. Emily got promoted to senior nurse. She still worked nights, still helped strangers, but something about James lingered in her thoughts. Then, one evening, she was browsing a small bookstore downtown, escaping the buzz of the hospital for an hour, when a grand piano piece began playing from the speakers. Melancholic, beautiful, haunting. She froze. It was James. She would know his voice, his soul, anywhere. Excuse me, she asked the clerk. What song is this? The woman glanced at the speaker. Oh, that's Rainlight Sonata, recent release by J.R. Rowe, kind of a mysterious composer. Nobody really knows who he is, but his music went viral online. This album's called Mercy, Mercy, the name of the hospital, Emily felt her knees buckle slightly, she clutched the counter for support, the music swirling around her like that storm, the night they met. She bought the album, listened to it on her way home. Every note was familiar, vulnerable, raw, laced with pain and hope. One track, simply titled Emily, made her cry on the side of the road. He hadn't vanished. He'd transformed. She did some digging. Found that J.R. Rowe's identity remained deliberately hidden. He had no tour dates, no interviews, no public appearances. Just the music. But a few weeks later, she got a letter. No return address. Just her name, written in beautiful, looping handwriting. Inside was a short note. Dear Emily. You saved me in more ways than I can ever express. That night, I wasn't just bleeding, I was broken. I had given up on myself, on life, on music. You didn't know who I was, and you didn't care. You helped me because you believed I mattered, even when I didn't believe it myself. Every song you hear on that album was born from that moment when you stepped out into the rain for a stranger. I didn't say goodbye because I was scared. But I'm not scared anymore. You showed me the light. I hope this music finds you like you found me. James tears blurred her vision. She held the letter to her chest and whispered, you mattered too. Words spread slowly. Patients asked about the new music playing softly during recovery. Nurses felt the shift in energy. Families cried without knowing why. The hospital received an anonymous donation, a grand piano, and a copy of the album, sent with one note, for the ones who heal. A year later, during a staff appreciation gala, the hospital hosted a private concert. The stage was lit softly, the piano gleaming under warm light. A man in a black suit and a hat walked to the center. He sat, hands hovering above the keys, for a moment, then began to play. It was Emily. No words, no introductions. Just the sound of healing. She sat in the back, her eyes wet, her heart full. She didn't need to go up and say anything. She didn't need confirmation. She knew it was him. He didn't disappear. He became. The story of a kind nurse and a broken stranger turned into something larger than either of them expected. It reminded everyone watching that night that no act of compassion is ever small. That sometimes saving someone doesn't take grand gestures, just the courage to step into the rain. And in doing so, you may end up saving yourself too.